What's up, everybody? It's Ronald, and I need your help. We're trying to grow the audience of Leaving the Theater, and the first step to doing that is by getting some information from you, my dedicated, loyal, and opinionated listeners. So wherever you're listening right now, please go to the show notes of this episode and click on the link that says Listener Survey. By completing this survey, you're helping to support the growth of Leaving the Theater and ohitsBigRon Studios. We use this information to determine how often we release episodes, if and when you hear ads, what types of ads you'll hear, and generally just to find out who exactly listens to the show. If we know the audience, we can grow the audience. So please, 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 please complete that survey as soon as you can. Once again, it's in the show notes. It's very easy. It takes probably about an average of 6 to 8 minutes to complete. Nothing too intrusive. You will be helping the show. So please, please, please complete that survey. Thank you so much. Now let's start the show. Katie Mitchell is a quirky teenager who loves making home movies. She feels like she doesn't fit in with her family and is often at odds with her father, a technophobic outdoorsman who just doesn't get his daughter. In The Mitchells vs. the Machines, the Mitchells find themselves having to reckon with more than just complicated family dynamics when a global robot uprising interrupts their cross-country road trip. I'm Ronald Young Jr., and I'm on the couch. All right. This is Ronald, and I am on the couch after watching The Mitchells vs. the Machines. The Mitchells vs. the Machines, directed by Mike Rianda, written by Mike Rianda and Jeff Rowe. Starring Abbi Jacobson, Danny McBride, Maya Rudolph, Mike Rianda, Eric Andre, Olivia Colman, Fred Armisen, Beck Bennett, Chrissy Teigen, John Legend, Carlyne Yee, Blake Griffin, Conan O'Brien, and Doug the Pug. This film was nominated for Best Animated Feature, and it is available on Netflix. All right, so this movie is about the Mitchell family who their daughter, Katie Mitchell, feels like an outcast. It's a family of 4. She feels like an outcast in her own family. Not necessarily outcast, but specifically at odds with her father, who her and her father just don't seem to understand each other. And the day that she leaves for film school, he decides that they're going to take a family road trip in order to drop her off at film school. A cross-country road trip to California to drop her off rather than her take a plane so they could have some family bonding time. But while this happens, there is a robot apocalypse, and robots become sentient, and they begin attacking the earth and capturing all the humans, and the Mitchell family is on the road trip while this happens. So they end up having to fight the robots and essentially fight for the fate of the world. I thought that this movie is from the same production team that did the Lego movies. Phil Lord and Christopher Miller, I believe are their names. And a lot of the times, this is an animated movie, of course, and it has a lot of the sensibilities of many of the Lego movies, or of all the Lego movies I've seen, specifically the original Lego movie. I'm not talking about I guess the Lego Batman movie too, but it has the same sensibilities of all these movies. It's animated, it's fun, it's zany. There's a lot of different mixed types of animation in there. There's even some, like pictures and photos and YouTube videos as well used. It's very colorful, loud. It's very busy. I enjoy it. If you like the Lego movies, you will definitely like a movie like The Mitchells versus the Machines. I don't think there was anything necessarily about it that was nothing stood out to me in terms of acting. It's voice acting. And of course, you have Maya Rudolph, who I thought was underutilized in the first half of the movie, but she did a lot more in the second half. It almost felt like their entire Maya Rudolph budget, their entire Maya Rudolph budget, their entire Maya Rudolph budget. Their entire Maya Rudolph budget was spent in the second half of this movie, of her being like a much bigger character and doing much more in it. There's not much to say about this movie. It was cute. It was a cute movie. It was good. If you have kids, you're going to like it. I mean, you're going to like watching it with them. They're also going to like it. There's a lot of fun stuff that goes on. I don't know if I don't think it's better than Encanto. And I think, I mean, it's competition right now because they're both up for Best Animated Feature. So I don't think it's better than Encanto. It's good though. I mean, it is a strong candidate for animated feature. It's a Netflix movie too, which I think for me, it's stronger to say that Netflix now has, it has The Power of the Dog up for Best Picture. It also has Best Animated Feature. If anything, this is a testament to Netflix having the capability to put out multiple powerhouse movies across categories. And we knew that they were capable of this. This is not something that is news to us. But with a movie like The Mitchells versus the Machines, they're now, taking aim at a category in which, Disney has dominated over the years. Disney, if you consider Pixar Disney, which I do, and which, I mean, especially since Disney bought them, but Disney has dominated this category for years. So for them to take aim in this way, especially to get people who made the Lego movie, which also was a great animated film that a lot of people really liked, to take that same production team and to make a movie like this, which was good. It had a lot of heart. There's emotional beats. It wasn't, they take a page out of Pixar's book to just have something crazy happening, but also have an emotional center. And the emotional center of the story being the relationship between Daddy's little girl, who's now growing up and going to college, and her, Katie trying to find her own way in the world, find her people, find out where she fits in, and she doesn't feel like she fits in amongst her family. So it has a center that has more to do with just the robots that are attacking and all that, and all the kind of silliness of the movie around it. So yeah, I mean, it was good. I liked it. I really don't have much more to say about it other than that. It was good, and I liked it. I don't know if it's going to beat Encanto. I don't know if I liked it more than Encanto either. And I mean, I think both of them kind of lack something in the end for me, to be honest with you, because I guess you're going to hear more of me do these little compare and contrasts, especially when I'm talking about the Oscar movies, because I kind of have to talk about what I eventually think is going to win or why I think it's going to win. I think Encanto is going to win because it's a prettier movie. The message is a little more clear. It's not necessarily as muddled. There's singing, there's dancing. It feels culturally significant. The Mitchells versus the Machine feels a little almost too fun. Even if it's the Oscars, the Oscars still want you to be highbrow in a way that the Mitchells versus the Machines is not. And I know for those of you that saw the Encanto, you're going to be like, what are you talking about, Ronald? This isn't highbrow. It isn't, but it's like highbrow when it comes to animated movies. You're looking at something that's just that's elevating a little more. And granted, there's an animated film nominated this time. It's also nominated for Best Documentary Feature, which, I'm puzzled by that completely. So that could win the whole thing. I think it's called Flea. That could win the whole thing. But in terms of head to head, I think that Encanto and the Mitchells versus the Machines, I'm also going to give the Mitchells versus the Machines 3.5 of 5 stars. But I think Encanto is a little bit better a movie. So I'm rating them the same, both 3.5 of 5 stars. And I guess that's just to say that I think they were better than good, but not necessarily great. But in terms of which one I'm ranking a little bit higher, I think emotional resonance comes down to Encanto. And I think I started to say the emotional center of both of these films, they kind of land in this, oh, it's all okay. We understand. We went through this thing together and now we're cool again and we understand all our differences and everything's okay. And I feel like they both of these films did that. The Mitchells versus the Machines was funnier about it and funnier about the journey the whole time. And yeah, in my mind, I don't know why, but Encanto just edges it out just a little bit. But I still give them both 3.5 of 5 stars. If you're saying like, what's the rating on this? It's hard to, if you ask me what I think is going to win, I think it's Encanto, if it were just up to these two. If you're asking me which I think is a better movie, I think it's slightly Encanto, but I think they're both 3.5 star movies. It's kind of hard to explain why I'm giving them the same rating, but why I'm edging one out of the other, except to say that, and you know what? The more I review these, the better idea I'll come up with. I'll come up with a better analogy as to what I mean when I say this. But, you know how you have some doctors that know because doctors have ratings and they're all better. I mean, it's just to say like if two doctors are rated 3.5, it's just like, well, which one do you like more? And it'll be like something small that edges them out, but doesn't necessarily give them a higher star ranking, if you will. I don't know. I hope that helps explain it. But yeah, it's good. Mitchells versus Machines. It's zany. It's fun. It's kooky, and it's easy to watch. It's on Netflix. You probably already have it in front of you in some fashion. So yeah, give it a watch. And with that, Leaving the Theater is a production of ohitsBigRon Studios. Theme music by the mysterious Breakmaster Cylinder. To find out more about this show and other ohitsBigRon Studios shows, follow me on Twitter and Instagram at ohitsBigRon. That's at ohitsBigRon. If you like this show, I host another show on the Pushkin Industries podcast network called Solvable. Check that out wherever you listen. Leaving the Theater will be back soon, but until then, I'll be here on the couch.